Have you ever felt something was off, like the silence in her smile screamed louder than words, or the way she touched her phone suddenly felt like a wall between you? If you've ever questioned whether a woman is truly with you or just there, then listen closely. Because in the silent language of behavior, a woman who cheats always leaves signs, not just physical ones, but psychological, emotional, and spiritual indicators that something sacred has been betrayed. And understanding these signs isn't about control, jealousy, or insecurity. It's about awareness. It's about knowing what to look for so you don't drown in confusion or self-doubt. Today, we dive deep into female psychology through the lens of Stoicism, where clarity, self-mastery, and emotional control form the pillars of your strength. The Stoics taught us that we should never attach ourselves too tightly to what we cannot control, and that includes the loyalty of others. But that doesn't mean you walk blind. It means you walk with your eyes wide open, aware of truth and unattached to illusion. First, understand this: cheating is never just physical. Before her body wanders, her mind and heart often do. One of the earliest signs is emotional distancing. She starts pulling away, not necessarily with anger or coldness, but with silence and subtle detachment. The woman who once lit up when you walked in the room now seems distracted, her attention elsewhere, her energy disconnected. A Stoic man does not panic. He observes. He recognizes that love should never be begged for, and when affection becomes rationed like currency, it's a sign she may be investing it elsewhere. Watch her eyes, not just when she looks at you, but when she doesn't. Is she avoiding eye contact? Does she flinch when touched, like she's holding a secret beneath her skin? These aren't coincidences, they are signals. Second, the rise in over-justification and secrecy. A woman who cheats often starts creating distance wrapped in explanations. She's suddenly busy, extra meetings, unexplained overtime, vague stories that don't quite align. And when you gently question, she becomes defensive, even offended. But Stoicism teaches us to remain calm. Don't accuse. Don't react. Instead, reflect. A Stoic man gathers facts, not drama. He notices patterns, not isolated moments. She may start guarding her phone like a diary locked from view. Her habits change. New passwords, calls taken in another room. She's no longer transparent, and where transparency ends, truth begins to hide. Another key psychological marker is projected guilt. This is one of the most deceptive signs. A cheating woman may accuse you of being unfaithful. She flips the script to alleviate her own guilt. Why? Because the human mind, when burdened by shame, seeks to offload it. This is basic psychological projection, but a Stoic knows not to be provoked. Instead, he uses reason to see the deeper truth. If you've done nothing wrong, her sudden mistrust might be the echo of her own actions. Don't argue, just watch. Her accusations may be the reflection of her own betrayal. Then there's the shift in intimacy and communication. Physical connection often either dries up completely or becomes strangely mechanical. She may suddenly become more experimental in bed, but not out of love. Instead, as a way to mask guilt or draw comparison. It feels different, detached, less about you and more about performance. Communication follows suit. Real conversations become shallow. She stops asking how your day was or listening when you tell her. It's not always in what she says, it's what she no longer says. The woman who once leaned into your words now leans away. Stoicism tells us to guard our inner peace, to not place our happiness in the hands of others. So when her words lose weight and her silence grows louder, you do not chase, you reflect. And let's talk about sudden self-reinvention, new wardrobe, new perfume, sudden fitness obsession. While self-improvement is healthy when it's paired with secrecy, detachment, and defensiveness, it can signal an external source of motivation. Someone else she's trying to impress. The Stoic doesn't cling, but he notices. He understands that attraction is voluntary, but deception is a choice. When someone evolves without including you in that journey, especially with increased secrecy, it's often not for your benefit. But perhaps the most painful sign is emotional withdrawal during your lowest moments. A faithful woman supports her man during storms. A cheating woman checks out. She grows cold when you're vulnerable, impatient when you express pain, because in her heart, she's already somewhere else. And while the Stoic doesn't depend on others for emotional regulation, he still values loyalty and connection. So when she stops being your emotional ally, she may already be emotionally invested in someone else. Yet here's the ultimate Stoic truth. You cannot control her loyalty, but you can control your response. You can choose dignity over desperation. You can choose clarity over confusion. And above all, you can choose peace over drama. If she is cheating, your power lies not in catching her, but in choosing whether to remain where trust has been broken. The Stoic does not rage, nor beg. He simply exits what no longer serves his soul. Because love should feel like peace, not paranoia. It should feel like truth, not deception. And if she breaks the bond, your strength is not in revenge, but in silence, in self-respect, in letting go. In the end, cheating is not just a betrayal of body. It is a betrayal of presence, of energy, of honesty. And though the signs may be subtle, they are always there for the man who has trained his mind to see clearly. Remember, a Stoic heart is not hardened, it is disciplined. It does not avoid love, but it does not bow to illusion. So if you sense these signs, don't be afraid. Be still, be wise, observe, then act with dignity, because nothing is more powerful than a man who walks away, not in anger, but in unshakable peace.